First preseason game down. That's about as good as we can do. It was a competitive day, really competitive on both sides. Got a lot done. This was the first time to really, we had a very controlled, probably 6 to 9 live plays earlier in the week, but this was the first time to really just go play the ball, where it is. And, just have to react to the situations. Good for the coaches. We had ACC refs here today. Really tried to, create a good game feel for the coaches too, just as much as the players, especially because we've got a couple of new people from an operations standpoint on how that's going to flow. So again, very competitive. It was good to see the defense. I thought they made had a couple scores early. Strozier had a big play. Tink had a big play, kind of set the tone early in the day. And then offense battled back, made some big plays. So it was a lot of it's probably one of the more competitive scrimmages, honestly, that we've had since, in a while, as far as the first scrimmage. For whatever reason, sometimes that first scrimmage, and it's, sometimes one side, it just has a better day than the others. But I thought there was moments I was, from my seat, I was mad at the offense, and I was mad at the defense, and then I'd be happy with the offense, then I'd be happy with the defense, then I was pissed again. From my experience, that's usually not a bad thing when you got both sides that really competed. I've been around some where, like I said, it's just a bad day, and then a lot of times they'll rally back the next day. But it was some good and bad on both sides, very competitive. A lot of guys flashed, and got some really good work. All the field zones. Got a bunch of red zone. Finished up the day with some short yardage, and then we first and goal on the 9, play it. We had a couple of racks of that, and then we had some goal line to finish up as well. Had a lot of punting competition today. Tried to create as much pressure on those guys as we could from a punting standpoint. And same thing. There was some good. And just as I tell them, I need them to be consistently good, not occasionally great. We got to just kind of hone that in, and we're getting better. It's good competition. It's a 3-horse race right now, and some really good at times from all of them, and then there's a miss here or there, and we just got to get the misses to be a little bit more, in line with what we need from what we consider a miss. But overall, good day. Again, a lot of young people, a lot of young guys flashed, and got some really good work with the quarterbacks. Had some sudden change with CV going in. I thought he did an outstanding job. Just jumping in there with the ones, and had, I think, 3-play touchdown drive, a couple of big throws. Some good on both sides.
Pleased with the tackling for the most part?
Yeah, there was nothing glaring. There wasn't anything glaring. I didn't think our third defense that was probably the worst part of the defense today. The third group probably did not compete like we needed them to. But as far as just tackling, nothing glaring.
Did you come out of it fairly healthy?
I think so. There's always some guys that get, banged up. It's always something when you go play live football. But, for the most part, I think so.
Any of those guys who were banged up come back today?
Such as?
Jay Luke, Pennington.
Pennington was there. Jay Lou's he's probably more like Monday. Tuesday he should be back rolling. So we'll see. We'll see where he's at.
Was Khalil Barnes out there as well?
No, Khalil wasn't able to go today. He's still working his way back.
How did the safeties look in his place?
Safeties have actually been a bright spot for us. That's, you try to find the good in everything. I hate that Khalil's been out for a few days, but it's kind of forced the opportunity for Ronan and Ricardo and Kylan Griffin, Billings and Webb and those guys. They're getting a ton of work. So our safety group have actually, it's been a real bright spot in camp, and even with the Khalil not out there. So that's, we all know what he is and what he can do, and we'll get him back at some point. But so I think that group as a whole is the arrow's up by them right now. Good competition.
First big boy football scrimmage for Ian. Was he able to keep his chin strap going?
Yeah,
blocking.
he's trending in the right direction, man. I mean, I'm really pleased with him. I mean, I knew we'd have to just get the pads. I mean, he's an athlete, all that stuff, but I just, how's he gonna take to the pads? And I mean, he's just looks like he's a natural. I mean, we've got some technique things to clean up, playing a little lower and stuff like that, but he's physical. Just comes natural to him. He's willing. He's not afraid, and he's really improved. I mean, he's getting better every day. I'm very pleased with his progress.
The 2 defensive touchdowns, just kind of tell us what you saw in both those plays.
The first one was just a really good call defensively, and kind of I think just caught us off guard, and Tink made a. They just kind of switched it off, caught him in man coverage, but they switched it off. And, quarterback didn't, I think he just he didn't know they were going to switch it off. And good execution defensively is what I would say. And something that you just learn from on offense. But a great play by Tink. And then the other one was just a competitive play that Strozier came down with, and we didn't get him on the ground.
Who was the quarterback that threw the pick?
Cade had one and CV had one.
How'd the running game perform, and how is kind of the rotation set coming out?
That was one thing I wrote down, plus running backs. I think the running backs were very productive today. Very productive group. Again, I know nobody thinks we got good players there, but I like our running backs. I think we got a good group, and I think they can all help us.
How did Cade do today?
Really good. Had a good day. I mean, he had the one early, but bounced right back, made some big plays. Had a really good first and goal on the 9 session, made a couple of elite throws. He and CV really, were solid. Probably the biggest thing, obviously the pick, but again, I kind of really got to, I'm going to put that more on the defensive execution. And that's one of those things that, Cade will have to learn from, but I think the biggest negative for him and CV is both of them had a negative play in the red zone that really, can't happen. The one, Cade, we took a sack on first down, cannot happen. And then CV had we had a penalty where, the ref said all 11 weren't set. So if all 11 aren't set, that's on the quarterback. So those put you behind the chains in the red zone. And we got to make sure that we eliminate that. But both of them had a good day. Trent had a good day, made some nice plays. Denson got in there. Denson had a couple of big plays with his legs. He's just you get reminded why we signed him. When you get to see him, make some plays. I mean, it's just very natural. He's a very explosive guy back there when, especially things break down. So he made a couple of plays as well. But everybody got a ton of work, ton of reps, what we needed, a bunch of special teams work. And now we just got to, evaluate the tape. We play 3 weeks from today, got a lot of work to do. And we'll have to be more disciplined and clean in some areas. But I thought the team competed, really hard on both sides.
Randall told us last week that Tristan had a couple one-handed catches at practice. Anybody have any spectacular catches today?
TJ had a great catch. Tristan had a great catch in the back of the end zone for a touchdown today. But TJ had one really, really nice catch. Little Chase Bird had a nice run after the catch on a conversion. But they all made some plays. Antonio made some plays. I mean, TB had a heck of a catch. He got blown up, but he had a heck of a catch. Just strong hands on a screen. But that's another positive. We threw and caught the ball well. There wasn't a bunch of drops or anything like that.
In the competition between your first group offensive lineman, your first group defensive lineman, did you see one side winning out over the other?
I did not. I thought it was competitive on both sides. I mean, again, you've got a bunch of guys that have played a ton of football on both sides, and so did not see one side just dominate. I mean, there was moments that both sides had a win, but it's very competitive. But when you got 2 fourth-year tackles, you got a bunch of guys that got a lot of experience. Linthicum's played a million snaps. Harris and Sadler and those guys in there, Parks. I mean, it's a really prideful group, and then same thing over on the other side defensively. One guy that flashed for me today was Burley. He was a guy, he had a couple sacks, and it was really good to see him. He's had a good spring, and he's had a good camp so far, so it's been good to see him kind of flash. And then the other group that just keeps trending up is our linebackers. I'm really encouraged by what I've seen on the practice field from our backers with Sammy and Wade. Jeremiah had a couple of really nice plays today. Kobe McLeod has been really, really good. D and Jamal. I mean, there's about 5 or 6 guys right there that I, all of a sudden I'm coming into it like, man, we really need this to happen. And now at this point, whatever, it's just 13 days in a row we've been together, I really see a good group developing. And we need that. I'm really encouraged about the backers and the depth that we're developing there.
You mentioned the one procedural penalty you had. Were you pleased with it from a penalty standpoint?
Yep.
Otherwise,
That's another, positive for the first scrimmage. A lot of times, in fact, I said that to the team, it's probably we had 1 offsides on the defense. And usually that first live scrimmage, you get a lot of hard counts and you get 3 or 4, just unfocused, getting offsides. Didn't have that today. So we had 1 the whole day. And we only had 1 on offense too. That was the one on CV. Nobody was set in the red zone, but playing with some tempo, you got to make sure everybody's ready to roll. So from a penalty standpoint, it was a pretty clean day today, and it was good to have the ACC refs there too. Those guys need reps as well, so good to have them there getting back in the flow of things too.
Was John Allen in the box today? Or
He was.
Have you figured out that's where he's going to be probably?
Most likely, that's most likely where he's I think comfortable operating from. So.
since you brought up the ACC refs, a couple times last year you said you had no idea what targeting was. Have you gotten a little bit of edification on that?
It was pretty obvious last year. I don't know. Do y'all know?
No. Changes week to week, seems like.
Week to week across the country. So, TBD. We'll see. To be determined. We didn't have any of that today.
What are you seeing out of Maury Adams today?
Maury was out today. He kind of sprained his ankle a little bit yesterday. So was it yesterday or the day before? Yesterday, I think. So he wasn't able to go today, but he'll be back soon.
Sounds like punting is pretty even competition, but no one pretty much pick up where he left off last season.
Yeah, I think he's been average this week, honestly. He was two for 3 today, but 1 complete, just, terrible kick. I think he's had an average week, so he needs to pick it up. Last year's kicks don't carry over. He finished good today. Again, had a nice kick to finish, so good to see him respond. But he was 2 for 3, and we needed to be 3 for 3. The one he missed was 100% on him. But he hasn't been as consistent, so we need him to pick it up.
How would you grade tackling mechanics today?
Good. Nothing, like I told them earlier, nothing glaring. There was nothing that just. A lot of times you come out of a scrimmage like that, and you've got some things really etched in your head, but there wasn't really anything. In fact, what was more etched in my head is we had some really good tackling. There was some. I'm sure I'll watch the tape, and there'll be a few things. I know in particular there was a 3rd and 2, and the end's got a guy, and he, I'd like to have seen him finished. If he finishes him, he doesn't get the first, but he got 3 yards, and we could have maybe finished that tackle, but it wasn't just a missed tackle. So to me, there was more good open field tackles. We did have a poor job by the corner on a crack replace, where the corner's got to go make. People will do that to you, especially in the red zone. They're going to make your corner tackle, and they're going to, when they know that you've got safeties that are going to get in the box, when the field is short, right? It's not like you're running by people. A lot of people will crack those safeties, and they'll force the corner to have to tackle. There was one time in particular we did not replace and make the play like we needed to. So definitely something we can get better from. But there was nothing glaring as far as just a bunch of missed tackles. It was more some really good open field tackles.